Katherine Grainger, Marlow Rowing Club, the Thames behind. She's smiling because, thank God, she's finally got that Olympic gold medal. It's a couple of weeks afterwards and life is good.
Life is very good. Very different from what it was a few weeks ago. But, still celebrating it, still enjoying it, still waking up smiling, still meeting wonderful people who are celebrating on with me, and yeah, very, very content.
You and Anna Watkins never, frankly, looked like losing, but it's easy for me to say that. For you, of course, you had to win that gold medal, and you did, but now that it's all done, looking back on what you did in the Olympics, it was pretty smooth, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really smooth. It was exactly how we would have hoped the whole regatta would have run. The heat's always testing in that none of us have raced for quite a few weeks. We don't really know what the opposition's doing. It's the first race at the Olympic Games, of course. It's 7 years we were waiting for the London Games, so massive moment when you first step out onto the course and race. And then we won our heat comfortably. We broke the Olympic record in the heat, so we knew we were on track, but there was utterly no complacency. Absolutely nothing until we crossed the line in the final ahead. When
you broke the world record in the heat, did you mean to break the world record, or did you mean to sort of make a statement? Because certainly Steve Redgrave in his pub used to try and sort of psych people out as early as he could.
We didn't deliberately set out to break any records on speed, to be honest. We'd always thought if the conditions were right, we could go faster than anyone else had ever gone. But in our heat, we deliberately didn't overcook it. We didn't go for a time, because although we had quite a few days until the final, we had to make sure one, we didn't want to show all our cards, and two, we didn't want to do anything that could potentially damage either one of us in the build up to the final. So it was a massive bonus to get the Olympic record on top of everything else.
Now, 3 previous Olympic Games, three silvers, as you well know. First silver, pretty happy. Second silver, reasonably happy. Third silver, not happy. So when you lined up at the final, knowing that you were favourites, knowing that you, on the form shown over the last few days, quite clearly the best crew, were you confident? Were you nervous? What was going through your mind?
I think the start line, all the emotions. There was definitely nerves. Of course there should be. Olympic final, of course there should be nerves. But we both had a lot of confidence. It was one of those things that I think if it had been any other race, any other location, any other time, without a shadow of a doubt, we'd known we could win it. Because of the Olympic final in front of your home crowds, we just couldn't make any assumptions. So yeah, there was a lot of nerves, but for both of us it was about just focusing back to how we move our boat, how we race, trying to stay in the moment rather than predicting the result and the outcome and what would then follow on. So that was almost a way of controlling it, was just to make it really narrow focus again. But I think we always knew that it was in our hands. If we got it right, then the result was ours.
Now, before you crossed the final line, well, of course it's not a line, it's an invisible line, but anyway, you must have known you'd won it. So what was sort of going through your mind with, 50 to go, and you'd won it, 50 to go for sure. What was going through your mind? Because obviously, looking on, the shades were on, you couldn't see much, implacable face as you carried on stroking. But were you? What was going on in that head of yours?
I think this is what's interesting. Both Anna and I were quite different the last bit of the race. She said she knew by halfway that we were done. Obviously, you just can't risk anything going wrong in the end. So she wasn't thinking, "Oh, we've done all we need to do," but she was quite confident that we'd done enough, and it was going to be fine. So there's even a bit coming in the last couple of 100 metres where you can sort of see a smile on that face of hers, and she knows we've got it, and it's just enjoying that moment in front of those crowds. I almost would not let myself think about that, and although I knew, you can sort of slightly detach. I knew where we were in the race. I knew nobody was going faster than us, and no one could go faster than us, and we also had more to react to if we needed to. And you can take all that in, but still be quite detached from the fact that would mean you're about to be Olympic champion. So, yeah, my face is still looking pretty grim right up until the finish line, and it was almost, I deliberately kept that door closed until I crossed the line, and once the line was crossed, threw it open, and that's when the celebration started.
Well, Anna, bless, of course, she has done Olympics before and she won a bronze, but I think she was pretty happy 4 years ago to win a bronze. She hasn't got the previous that you have, so I guess the emotions will be different. You were just presumably refusing to allow yourself to believe that you'd won it until you'd actually crossed that line.
Well, I knew for a fact, you know, I was in a boat in Beijing where we were leading up into the last few hundred metres and then got beaten in that time. Now, you know, I knew this boat was better. I knew Anna and I had never let anybody, you know, beat us in the dying stages of a race we've never been rowed through.
You've never been beaten?
So, we've never been beaten. So, there was a lot more confidence in our ability and what we could withstand from attacks from other countries. But I just didn't, I knew the result was going to be so emotional. I knew it meant so much to both of us. And I didn't want to tap into that more than I needed to until it was done.
Sure.
And as soon as we crossed the line, then, wow, it all just floods in. And you know, I mean, I knew instantly what it meant and what it meant to the crowds that were there and what it meant to each other and what it meant to me. But I didn't want to think about it. I didn't need to think about it until it was actually done.
You mentioned the crowds. Now, you've been around a while, shall we say?
Couple of years.
Couple of years. Have you ever known anything like that noise and that support?
Not even vaguely have we ever seen crowds like that. I mean, we've had good crowds in the past. We had great racing in New Zealand a couple of years ago. Huge. It's a huge sport in New Zealand. Huge crowds there. But in previous Olympics, previous World Championships, I've never seen anything like that. And the scale, the sheer numbers, you know, 30,000 people. And vast majority of them British support. And to be honest, in our race, I felt even the people who weren't from Britain were still supporting us. We just had such a wonderful just encouragement, enthusiastic encouragement the whole way through. And when we came into that last 300-400 metres, when you're actually inside the stadium aspect of rowing, where there's crowds on both sides of the course, the noise just gets funneled into the centre where you're racing. I mean, we knew we wouldn't be able to speak to each other, we knew we wouldn't be able to communicate because the noise would be loud, but I hadn't realised how loud it would be. It became more than, it was sound. It wasn't even shouts, individuals, it wasn't crowd noise, it was just this utter deafening roar. It was unbelievable. I don't think we'll ever see the likes again. Now,
you do realise you had to win that gold. Never mind for you. Just for the rest of us, for goodness sake. We couldn't take another silver, frankly.
No,
we couldn't take any more tears. Okay, you know, life would be over if you hadn't won that gold. So thank you on behalf of the British nation, and you must be pretty happy as well.
Well, I think the whole nation sort of cried again this time, but this time tears of joy, which was great. You know, I met so many people who really did find it emotional, which is wonderful to hear. Anna did say to me, you know, a few days after, when we realised the scale of the support and what we'd done and how it impacted on people, and she did say, there's no way we could have lost that. We just, you know, not just for our own, you know, a huge personal loss for us, but it did feel like, you know, we kind of did it with the nation, and it was great to see everyone celebrate with us.
No, I just think you're a drama queen. I think you've planned this all along. I'm going to do 4 Olympics, I'm going to tease for 3, and then I'm going to absolutely smash it in front of a home crowd.
Absolutely. Put myself through utter hell 4 years ago just to get this moment. It's incredible, as you know, awful as Beijing was. Utterly, just desperate disappointment for all 4 of us in Beijing, and really I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but without a shadow of doubt it made this one so much sweeter and so much more special, and we all learned a lot. We all have learned so much from any losses we've experienced over the years, so they do help, although at the time they're the worst thing in the world to experience, but yeah, it certainly, if you're going to do it once, tell you, home Olympics is the one to do it in. Okay, so what's the difference between Katherine Grainger from 3 weeks ago and Katherine Grainger now? You're looking relaxed, let's put it this way. Yeah, I'm feeling relaxed. In some ways I'm just as tired, because what I used to do was train all the time, rest whenever I could, eat well and sleep well. And now almost everything's reversed. Hardly train, hardly rest, don't eat well, don't sleep well, just on the go the whole time. But it's you know, you're living on adrenaline, you're living on excitement, you're trying to get around as many people as you can, see as many people and share it with the people that are that have been there along the way, and see new people to share it with them, and it's a wonderful life experience now. I mean, it's being able to say yes to everything, whereas before you didn't get to do anything.
Say no to everything. And so, immediate future plans, midterm future plans?
I mean, I spoke to Anna yesterday. I'm going to see her this afternoon, and both of us are saying it's. She's someone who really likes to have a plan and finds it quite unnerving not to really have a plan. But she said every day she kind of makes a plan and then changes it to the next day and then changes it again. And it is a bit like that. You know, mentally you do something and you think, oh, I want to do this now, and I think this will make me happy. And actually, no, I want to go and do this. And oh, but what I miss is this. I'll do that. And you just constantly, you don't settle into anything normal or anything familiar or anything. And it's very hard off the back of that to make any long-term plans or even mid-term plans.
You've never lost?
At the moment...
You must be pretty good still.
The thing is, as well...
As they're saying at the Democratic Convention right now, 4 more years.
4 more long, tortured years. The hardest thing is probably because we love it so much. We love what we do. We love competing together, training together, racing together. And it's impossible to replace that. It's very hard when you're winning and winning well and enjoying it to say I'll never do that again, and that's a very tough thing. But on the other hand, how would you ever top this? Where would you go from here?
Well, Rio.
Heard it's lovely for a holiday.
Yeah.
It's an option, of course. It's an option, and it's one we're both seriously considering.
Okay. Well, whether you do or whether you don't. Thank you for putting us out of our misery, and many, many, many congratulations.
It was my pleasure, thank you.